Hello, my name is Chuck. I've worked in customer service for the past 15 years, in call centers for the past 4 years, and in quality assurance for the past year and a half. So, this has been quite the journey, and one of the things I want to talk about today is how to, I don't want to say properly, but how to get frustration and your frustration across without going into angry, because there's a fine line between it. Frustration can be a good motivator to get things done on an account, but there's several things that you do need to understand whenever it comes to it. You need to go through and break things apart into several categories. One of the things that you'll need to take into consideration, and this is just me personally, this whole video is just my own opinion, my own journey, and what I've seen. I'll even tell a story about after I go over the 5 things on how I implemented them within a call that I made to a company in order to get something replaced for my wife. Because I love my wife, as many people do, and that is a source of many times because you got something for them and things didn't go the way you would hope they would. So, first we're going to talk about factual. Factual, you need to be able to provide information on what happened and give information as things go along. For example, if you're calling into a call center, if this is your 5th call and you've already spent an hour and a half on this is information that you want to go through and state to them. I actually kept a log of mine, and I ended up spending 3 hours over the course of 12 interactions. But that is one thing that you want to keep an eye on, is how factual it is. You also want to keep track of how your value to the company. For example, if you're someone who's just recently got a credit card with them, or just recently purchased their first item, unless it's a big ticket item, you may not have as much ability to do things with them. However, if you're a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year veteran with them, spent thousands or tens of thousands of dollars with them, you've got a lot more clout than someone who just crossed the street and is a brand new customer. You also want to take into consideration what line not to cross. Now, this is important because you need to know the limits of what you can do and what you can't do until it hits a point where you're going to get hung up on. Plain simple, to the point. If you cross a certain line, they will hang up on you. You could possibly also find you're no longer a customer of them. So you need to take that into consideration whenever you're talking with them. Another thing you need to take into consideration is this person someone who can actually go through and make a decision on this account, or are you just talking to someone who can't really make a decision on it, and you're basically talking to a grunt who cannot do anything on the actual account. So just take these things into consideration whenever you're doing this. Now, here's the story. So I bought my wife a lovely set of headphones. They fit all of her needs. She needed one that would be able to last for quite a few hours while she was playing her video games. She needed it to be able to be wireless, because my wife and cords, neither here nor there. And she needed it to have a good sound quality, so that way she could be heard as she's going through and making her videos. So I found the perfect headset. I ordered it for her. Came in no problem. She had been using them for a few years. Well, not years, months. Felt like years, but neither here nor there. So she had been using them for about 8 months, had a 1-year warranty on them. The headphones broke, like in half. So I ended up sitting there and contacting customer service. Now we're getting to the first part, the factual. Customer service apparently could not look up her headset. I spent my first three interactions working with customer service, and finally she ended up we ended up finding out we had to call in. So I called in, me trying to be patient as ever, ended up getting someone in regular customer service. That first person transferred me to the warranty department. The issue is in the warranty department, I ended up getting informed, well, we can't do anything without the part number. The part number, lo and behold, was not on the actual box. So they referenced me to the sales team. This is about an hour and 15 minutes into my interactions with them. I ended up finding out that the sales team could find my order, but couldn't find the part number. So in order for me to get it, I need the warranty department to have my part number, which the only people who could look up my transaction was the sales team, and the sales team didn't have the part number. So you can see the circular logic that goes on here. Now, one of the things that after I got up to 12, I finally was able to get a hold of someone and talk to them about it. We're going to move on to my second part, which is the amount of value I had with this company. At this point, over the past 5 years, I had made 2 to 3 large purchases totaling about $5,000 over a 5-year period. That's about $1,000 a year. Whenever you're looking at going through and spending for a laptop, this can seem like a small or a big amount. So to the company, I was a good, solid customer. I had several years worth of history with them, and they were able to decide that I was worth trying to save. Now, after about 10 conversations with them, you start to sit there and can see where you can start to get angry and frustrated with them. The big thing that you have to do is you have to not cross the line in customer service. If that's number 3, you want to sit there and talk to them about it, because you might be able to get them to tell you, hey, we're not allowed to have cursing on our words, or we have to get a supervisor, for example. Or they might be able to hang up on you when you start cursing. You need to be able to figure out what that line is, or just avoid it altogether. So personally, I was calm. I kept practically this level of volume, and I made sure not to get emotionally hijacked during the conversation, because that can lead to an immediate hang-up. The other thing that you really need to do is you need to find people that can make decisions. On my 11th interaction, I finally just asked the person, hey, can you get a manager to can you put in a case for me to have a manager contact me about this situation? I've been back and forth, 11 interactions, 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of conversation, very factual the whole time, just letting them know how long I had been contacting them to get my wife's headset replaced, which had gotten, quite frankly, to be ridiculous. So finally they said that they were going to do this. Now keep in mind, if you have time-sensitive things, don't call customer service if you're in very time-sensitive issues, because one of the things that you may need to do is you may need to wait, you may need to get transferred. Now, as a bonus or a additional action or item that I recommend doing is let them know up front with the rep. I'm not frustrated with you, I'm frustrated at this situation. This also helps prevent emotional hijacking and running, at least for myself, running my mouth to a person who doesn't deserve it. Because I was able to stay calm, and on the 12th interaction, a manager finally gave me a call, double-checked all the information. I was a good customer. I was able to, over 3 hours, get my headset for my wife replaced, which, wife's the love of my life. I love her a lot, and she was able to get her replacement item without a problem. They shipped out a replacement at no extra cost to me, and I am getting a replacement headset. Now, just to go through and recap, you need to be factual. You need to go through and keep everything. You need to be able to go through and cite what your value is to the company, like how long you've been with them, how much you've ordered, just being able to summarize. You need to be able to. You need to be able to be talking to the right person, and you need to not cross the line of anger. It also helps if you go through and you differentiate between being the person that that you're not angry with them. So I was able to get my wife a new headset, and I find that these steps are very useful to other people. It's not easy going through and being in a situation where you're angry and frustrated with the person you're talking to. So you need to take these things into consideration. Please, if you're frustrated, first and foremost, let it out in a constructive manner other than the company that you're angry with, because odds are it's not the exact person that you have on the line that made the mistake. You need to make sure you're never going to get emotionally hijacked during the conversation, because anger, while constructive in some things, is not constructive in others. And if you let it all out, that can be the difference between you ending the phone call. Also, keep in mind, the higher you go up the food chain for the decision makers, the more likely they are to be able to be that person that can say, no, we no longer want this person as a customer. Goodbye. I hope you found this video useful, and this is not a normal video that I will make because frustration is something that we all have and we all see in our daily conversations. So please keep these things in mind whenever you call in. Also understand, most people in customer service are not necessarily paid the amount they're worth. They barely make a living, scrape by, and only the experts ever get up into getting paid what they're worth. And most of the time they're out of the position that actually takes phone calls. Irony, right? Well, if you find this useful, please like, subscribe. If you get a success story with this or have a topic you would like for me to cover, please comment and let me know about it. I hope you all have an amazing evening and stay safe. This is Chuck, and have an awesome night. Bye.